I've not seen the president visiting families. We saw him in the air. We saw him in the helicopter. Mr. Speaker, those who lost their lives, we have not seen any government official.
I go by the name Flamboyant Lifestyle. If you not subscribe to this channel, please subscribe. And don't forget to on your notification bell so that anytime I drop a video, you'll be the first person to watch. We all knew what happened on 29th June 2026. A great flood happened in Accra, where a lot of things really flooded. Nearby regions also got flooded. A lot of people lost their properties. A lot of people lost their life. About 32 people, according to reports written to me, lost their lives. A lot of people, high-end money was also missing. People were unhappy. People were sad. People were sharing a lot of tears because of what really happened on 29th June 2026. That's the flood. And we all saw what really happened. Mahama was seen in helicopter surveying every place in Accra where the flood was very intense. He came down, he was trying to let us understand so many things about the flood. He spoke about it. He was telling us some measures that have to be taken so that the floods and everything will go down.
We just finished an aerial tour of Accra to inspect the flooded areas. Unfortunately, the flooding has been very extensive today for several reasons. One, the recorded rainfall today is one of the highest in several years. The Meteo are looking at approximately 140 millimeters that was dumped on Accra. Last year, the maximum rainfall was 56 on a single day, and so the volumes are much higher. And so there are many issues to the flooding in Accra. There's climate. If you look at the rainfall pattern from 2024, 2025, 2026, you see that increasingly every year we're getting more rain in Accra than we used to get. GMET say that in 2024, for a period of 30 days in June, we had 85 millimeters of rain. And then in 2025, it increased to 172. And then in 2026, for the same 30-day period in June, it increased to 333. And so the waterways are not getting chance to recover before more rain is dumped. And the wet days are more. Out of 30 days, 22 days, it kept raining. And so there were only 7 dry days or 8 dry days in June. And so that's the climate side. That is an act of God that we can't control. But then there's also the engineering and the man-made causes. That is, like I said before, Accra is built between two natural bodies, the Kwapim Mountain Range and the Atlantic Ocean. And before Accra was built, the streams used to flow through this plain to reach the sea. Now, the British brought the capital to Accra, and in those years it was not a problem because Accra was a very small city. But as the population continues to increase and people continue to build, it restricts the path of the streams on their way to the Atlantic. So that's an engineering problem. We need to see how to open the channel so that the water can pass. But then there's also the other aspect, which is attitudinal and human behavior. That is dumping garbage in the drains, putting all kinds of items in the drains after we finish creating waste instead of sending it to the appropriate place. Even in the air, we discovered many illicit dumping sites where the wetlands are. People have gone to create a waste dumping ground, and they charge 20 cedis for the Abubuya to come and fill the waste into the wetlands. And when it has filled sufficiently, they sell the land to people to come and build on it. And so we need to, one, look at it from an engineering perspective in terms of how we can open up the channels, but at the same time look at how we can identify all the buildings that are obstructing the waterways. We've said this many times. I'm tired of hearing it. But anytime you begin to take action and you start breaking houses, people think that government is inhumane. But when the problem arises like this flood, it affects everybody. And so all of us have been affected because of the conduct of a few people blocking the channels and preventing the water from passing. And so we'll call a National Security Council meeting. We're asking every district to identify, together with the Works and Housing Ministry, where the blockages in the channels are as they pass through the district assemblies, so that we can earmark those places for removal. We'll not only break the houses, we have to move the rubble out of the way, because there's no use breaking a house and leaving the rubble in the waterway. It's just the same as leaving the house. And so it's going to be quite a major issue in order to resolve the problem of Accra. But ultimately, the other solution will be to decongest Accra. And that's why we're planning that we move some of the city out, that is the major government departments, and then also create a new center of growth, so that our people will start building outside Accra in a new city, instead of everybody looking for some space in Accra to build. So, but that's a long-term solution. Like I said, it's a 20-year project. They are still working on the designs. Once they do that, we'll demarcate. People can start buying plots. If they like, they can start building houses. We'll do the roads, bring the water and electricity, so that it eases the pressure on Accra as a city. But I just want to express my sympathy with people who have lost property. Loss of property has been very extensive, and I want to thank the military, NADMO, the police, and the Hydro, Works and Housing Ministry, and all the emergency response team, 48th Engineers Regiment, for the rescue that they did. I've seen many of the videos where people had to be carried out of their houses. They deployed their boats, and they helped to save quite a lot of lives. NADMO will do what it can to try and identify the victims and see how we can just support them in a way in the next few days. I've asked the Minister of Finance to release some money from the contingency fund, so that we can do some post-flood relief for persons who have been affected. And so let me again express my sympathy, but let us change our attitude and let us find a permanent solution to this Accra flooding problem. We shouldn't become like the vulture who, anytime it is raining, he says as soon as it stops raining, you repair his roof. And then as soon as it stops raining, he says, oh, it has stopped raining, so there's no need to repair the roof. This time should be different. We just finished
You finished listening to what he has said. He has spoken, and he has made us understand so many things about the flood. He has spoken a lot. And also, the minority leader, Afenyo Markin, came to speak and rant about President Mahama. He was trying to let us understand that President Mahama was seen in a helicopter surveying, instead of him going to the grounds for him to know the affected places. And also, he has not seen the president visiting the people that have lost so many things during the flood. He has not visited anything. He has not seen anything from the government. Afenyo Markin was sharing a sentiment that the president have to do better. The president have to do so many things. So without no wasting my time, let's pay attention and listen to what Afenyo Markin is trying to let us understand in this video.
I've not seen the president visiting families. We saw him in the air. We saw him in the helicopter. Mr. Speaker, those who lost their lives, we have not seen any government official reaching out to them, their families. Those who lost properties, we have not seen any action from government. What we know is that the president was comfortably in the helicopter in the name of surveying, finding out. But Mr. Speaker, the people who suffered are in their homes. The people who suffered, Mr. Speaker, are Mayor Shipon. Is government taking data of those who suffered? My own Winneba, Efutu, 6 communities were submerged. Jane Janazi, Atachedo, Jahazi, Mr. Speaker, interacting with the chiefs and the people, Mr. Speaker, they are in pain. I've spent days with my people. Mr. Speaker, the roads have been cut off. They can't go to their farms, Mr. Speaker. That is the reality. We are talking about Accra. Winneba, 6 communities. Jane Johnson people cannot cross Winneba. Jahazi, they cannot. Atachado, they cannot. In Swetchi, they cannot. Osbonpeyin, they cannot. Atetu, they cannot. Silver Chrome, they cannot. That is the situation. Mr. Speaker, I think, hold the view that, Mr. Speaker, beyond the optics, government must demonstrate serious action.
Afenyo Markin has spoken, and I want Afenyo Markin to understand that Mahama is not NADMO. That's why you have organizations that they are taking care of everything in this country. Immediately you come out to come and talk about president, you have to understand the organization that they are involved in all those things. You don't just come rant and also try to put dent on Mahama's name. And I've heard that Mahama and the government of NDC have produced 300 million Ghana cedis for the people who were affected with the floods. So Afenyo Markin to cross-check and do so many things. Visiting all those people are money, and Mahama has released the money. Mahama have made us understood. He has shared condolence to the people. Visiting all those people won't bring anything. Mahama is working for Ghana. There are different aspects of government that Mahama to pay attention to. That's why we have a lot of organizations. So Afenyo Markin's ranting in parliament is not going to bring out anything. So you have to be very careful and know how he speaks when he's in parliament. So this is what is really happening. You can also share your comments under the comment section. Anything that you really want to say. And please don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that anytime I drop a video, you will be the first person to watch. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you another time.